it's Merryl Key from my mystery school, and today I wanted to show you Astrology Dice. You use them the same way that you'd use tarot. So one dice has all the planets, one dice has all the zodiac, and one has the house numbers, 1 through to 12. The planets tell us about the situation. They're like the main actor, the capital letter to your answer. So if it's the sun, you know the main situation is about yourself, your own identity, how you put yourself out there. The moon would show where you need nurturing, where you feel safe, also something hidden. And in terms of timing, I'd be looking at moon cycles and moon phases. Mercury is the god of communication and all aspects of messages, internet, travel and learning. If it's on Venus, you know the situation is around relationships and self-worth, even your relationship with money. If it's Mars, it's about your physical strength, your ambition, your passion, direct action. If it's Jupiter, it's pretty good luck. It's about expansion and growth. And it's known as a benefic planet, one of the good guys. If it's Saturn that shows up, you know that there's hard work, responsibility and discipline for you. It also means get official, get things authorized. If Uranus comes up, you know things are going to be turned on their head, unexpected, revolutionary, a stroke of brilliance. Although it's a slow-moving outer planet, it has a sudden effect. And with Neptune, it's almost like the opposite. Neptune is the dreamy, subconscious, magical, but also a little bit illusion and delusion. This is the one that can inspire hope. And if it's our dwarf planet Pluto, you know it's about endings and beginnings, with regeneration and really deep inner strength required. Good thing about these dice, they also have the moon's nodes. So there's the north node, which shows an area where there's an opening, something you can move towards and really enhance your growth and potential. If it's the south node, it's a place of lessening. The south node can mean you can draw on old skills, people from the past. The Zodiac dice tells you how it feels, how to express the answer to your question. If Aries comes up, it's the sign of the ram, number 1 fire sign. It means action, do it. If it's Taurus, it's an earth sign. It requires patience and claiming and owning your resources. Gemini is the sign of the twins. It's about bringing opposites together. And this means solving problems, communicating. Gemini can also mean your siblings are involved or something that you have to learn. Cancer is the sign of the crab. It's ruled by the moon, so it's emotional, nurturing and mothering. Cancer is looking for emotional safety. If it's Leo, ruled by the sun, the planet is expressing itself through pride and exuberance, extroversion, getting out there and being recognized. If you get Virgo, it's possible your answer is lying in the detail. The planet is being expressed through Virgo's analytical mind. Virgo can also mean health matters, getting things down to simplicity. If Libra showed up, it might mean relationships are involved. But Libra is the sign of the scales, so there's an element of looking for fairness and justice with this zodiac sign. If Scorpio is on the zodiac dice, it means the planet is being expressed through Scorpio's intense emotional scrutiny. Scorpio loves deep emotional honesty and connection. But traditionally it's seen as a malefic sign because it's ruled by Mars and Pluto. So Scorpio coming up could mean the planet is expressing itself through Scorpio's dark side of jealousy and secrets and obsession. If it's Sagittarius that comes up, it's a fire sign. It means go for it and expand. Find your purpose and run with it. Earth sign Capricorn showing means get real, find the bottom line, and in some ways return to traditions. If Aquarius comes up on your zodiac dice, it means the planet is being expressed through Aquarius' need for community. It might involve you getting into new technology, looking at the tools, looking at the know-how behind things. And finally, Pisces, the sign of the fish, gives a really creative and sensitive expression to the planet. The third dice show the houses. And the houses tell you about the scene and the setting. If the planets are the actors, and the zodiac is the costume they wear to express themselves, then the house shows where the scene is set, what area of life is being affected. The first house is the house of the self, and it means your personal appearance, your personal identity is what's being affected. The second house is the house of resources, so it will show whether you've got the money or the energy or the skills to throw into this. The third house is the house of communication. It's where you're going to learn things. It's also your neighborhood, so your answer lies kind of locally. The fourth house is the place of home and family. In some cases it represents mother, but it shows us the place where you return to, what you call home. Fifth house is the house of self-expression, and it's a really fun house. This is where all creative things are born, including children. Sixth house is the house of work and daily routines, including your pets. You'll also see health matters in this house because health needs that daily maintenance that the sixth house is all about. The seventh house, where is it, is the house of relationships. There it is. All your relationships. And it's also got a little secret footnote saying it's the house of open enemies. The eighth house is the scorpionic house of birth, death and rebirth. So if your planet and your zodiac is it being expressed through the eighth house, it's probably time for an ending or a closure. The ninth house, hang on, that's not the ninth house. Yes, it is. The ninth house is a gorgeous house as well. It's the house of belief systems, philosophy, growth, expansion and travel. 10th house is how you are in the outside world, your career, your reputation, what you're doing out there in public. And the 11th house, house of friendships. It's also a really nice sunny house. Hopes and wishes, community, connections. 12th house is the mysterious house of veils. And traditionally, it's not really a lucky house. But it is really beautiful house if you're doing things with ancestral work or spirituality, any acts of service, they come through the 12th house. So the question I'm going to ask, it's not a yes-no question. It's what is the consequence of me closing down one of my projects? So I'm thinking I'd like to close this one down, but I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. So I'm going to ask the planets. So the main actor we have here is Mercury. Mercury is that god of communication. And the project I'm thinking of is actually about communication. The Zodiac dice is Sagittarius. And it is a social media project. So it seems to have identified my question. Mercury is being expressed through Sagittarius, which means big, broad, across all planes. But what is the consequence of me closing down this project? The house is the 8th house. That's the house of close it down. So what is the consequence of me closing this down? I think it has an effect on me reaching that wider audience. And that's really what I have to consider. But the 8th house is also that place of regeneration. And Sagittarius makes me feel something new will launch. The 8th house is a really clear line in the sand there. And although I have to consider it carefully, I feel the dice is saying, let it go. Something new will launch. Can you see how these can be used for a lot of questions? And if you want to go further, if the dice comes up with a current transit, for instance, Gemini is in the North Node. Actually, that's what's shown up. Gemini is in the North Node right now. And so the timing of that is important. Actually, for me, Gemini is in the North Node in my 1st house. So this is pertinent to me right now. This would indicate to me timing, and it'd get me looking closer at the transits going through my own chart. So there's ways to get in deeper with these dice. You can kind of do whatever you want. They're a lot of fun. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I'm Merryl Key, and this is my Mystery School. Like, follow, share and subscribe.